to you all. It is I, the stalwart sentinel of the right and keeper of the conservative flame, Rush Limbaugh, turning my mighty jaundiced eye this morning toward the world of jurisprudence. The sensational case of O.J. Simpson, this year's Rodney King. Well, what do we have here but yet another Negro leading the police on a freeway car chase? Another fugitive from justice, captured live on videotape, attempting to escape from the clutches of the mad. And by the way, last I heard, Hertz was somewhat dismayed that the white Ford Bronco was not rented from one of their many Southern California locations. That could have been a 90-minute commercial. You can't buy that kind of publicity. It's yet another example of the continuing decline of American civilization at the hands of the Clinton administration.
Pardon me.
The last vestiges of morality in this country faded away when Simpson's flight from authorities turned into a spectator sport as he made that last end run down the 405. And how we all clicked our tongues at the shameless rubberneckers who parked their cars on the shoulders and overpasses of the highway to watch the sordid display as we rubbernecked from our living rooms while Barbara Walters droned on about the tragedy of it all. See what happens? Redefine the criteria for what constitutes the American family, allow interracial, even interspecies marriage, and this is what you end up with. A former running back who spikes his wife, does the Raggedy Ann on her lifeless body, and then gathers well-wishers along his escape route like children cheering on the underdog balloon at the Macy's parade. Oh, the humanity. Yes, my friends, it is Bill Clinton who is responsible for this situation, and he should be held accountable.
Oh, yeah.
Not only for the spiritual and moral decline that enable these heinous events, I postulate that our president may have actually been responsible for the murders himself. The machinations of the spin doctor. What better scheme than a celebrity double murder to take some of the sting out of the North Korea, Haiti, sexual harassment, whitewater situation? What a way to knock yourself off of the front pages, Enough of a diversion until those bastards can drag another skeleton out of the closet. I can see it now. Hillary somewhere on the grassy knoll of the off-ramp by Knott's Berry Farm, and in the back of her truck, a ski mask with some of the carpet fibers from Paula Jones' apartment stuck to it. That'd make quite the John Grisham novel now, wouldn't it? More after this. Like commies, you can't tell them apart. Think they're so progressive when they're all just big bleeding hearts. Tax the hard workers to give money to parasites that they never have to repay. Tell illegal aliens it's quite all right to be on welfare from cradle to grave. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be liberals. Don't let them start programs for social reform. Be narrow-minded to those who don't conform. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be liberals. Cause economy crunches with all their free lunches. They're giving the country away. Liberals like government handouts and hidden agendas.
Yeah.
Like dropping trow in hotel rooms with girls of the night. They all feel guilty because they are so privileged and want to give it all up to the hopelessly needy. So if you don't want your young kids being left out, see that they stay to the right. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be liberals. They love homos and Negroes and Hebrews and such. They run from the rich, think that we have too much. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be liberals. Cause economy crunches with all their free lunches. They're giving the country away. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be liberals. Don't let them start programs for social reform. Be narrow-minded to those who don't conform. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be liberals. country away. Rush Limbaugh here on the Imus in the Morning program. There is, in the business section.
Mexico. I'll tell you, after going to California and down into Mexico, I've seen enough fat tourists and queers the last 2 years. Right there. I mean, you get 50 miles down into Mexico and them queers are down there. Jesus Christ, what's this country coming to?
Well,
I mean, how far in Mexico do you have to get before you run out of queers?
well, I don't know. Don't you
Jesus Christ, is there any skinny people in this country?
Imus, this ain't your mother's morning show.
So this woman, Martha Sherrill,
Yeah?
she's doing this story on me for Esquire.
Yeah?
Okay, interview my brother now.
Fred, are you older or younger than Don?
I'm a lot younger.
You guys were very close?
Yeah.
How close?
I love my brother.
One time he bent over to pick something up.
No, Fred, not that close.
In the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
So I got a frantic message.
Here was a sellout, and everybody wants a Frederick America's Best.
Cool change, Frederick Air Conditioner. Cool change, Frederick Air Conditioner.
See your authorized Frederick dealer today. He's in the yellow pages.
It's christening yesterday, huh?
Yes, I was.
You a little queasy in that church?
Why would I get queasy in a church?
Won't you be there pretty soon? The thing I do?
Well, with your hands folded. That's the thing I did.
Imus, this ain't your mother's morning show.
I'm only happy that the Knicks won because I like Dave Checketts, the president of the Knickerbockers, and then here's a title. Yes. And speaking of all that, here is the president of the New York Knickerbockers, the aforementioned Mr. Checketts. Good morning, Mr. Checketts.
Actually, Cirillo had a good idea this morning, though, Don. He was thinking that I should offer to you at any point in the NBA Finals at halftime the garden for your wedding. because that's just so much like the NBA Finals. There's a clear winner and a clear loser.
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
I'm Imus in the morning.
My name is Jimmy Carter, and I'm running for president. And I guarantee you, 1976 will be the year we give the government of this country back to the people of this country.
Hey, butthead, check it out. There's like 50 weird foreign dudes in shorts running around this field kicking a big wiffle ball.
You fuckwit. That's those World Cup soccer dudes.
What's that?
It's like all these weird foreign dudes who, like, play soccer on weekends.
Oh, what do they do during the week?
I think they, like, drive taxis.
Soccer sucks.
Did you know that, like, in South America and Europe and, England, they call soccer football?
What a bunch of dorks. It's not football. If it was football, they'd be like really hot cheerleaders in tight shorts and that fat dude from the hardware commercial sitting in the booth with OJ.
I don't think OJ's gonna be sitting in the booth anymore, dude. He'll be, like, sitting in the gas chamber.
I know, that sucks. It's not fair, because, like, if Frank Gifford had, like, killed his wife, he wouldn't go to jail.
Yeah, they'd probably, like, give him a medal and a big cash award.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have to give me any money or a medal. I'd hit Kathy Lee in the head with a shovel for nothing.
If my friends could see me.
Wang!
Imus in the morning, 2020 sports.
Madre de Dios, toca un Valium. Brasil ganó sobre los rusos 2-0 en la taza del mundo de fútbol. Buenos días, yo soy Scazzo. Estoy aquí para Miguelito Brin, quien está en Houston. 3 juegos en la mañana, 20-20 deportes.
Tres huevos would be me because some people...
He ain't getting it done. Just like without Hakeem, the Rockets ain't getting it done.
My thanks today to Curtis Bunn of the Daily News, who joined us. As always, I thank my boys on the other side, Hot Rod Rodman, Fast Eddie Scazzeri, Bill Greasy here giving us the updates. And as always, you the fans, until tomorrow, it's bye-bye, so long, farewell. Now to Noonan and the Scalisi with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the home of the NBA Finals.
Mike and the Mad Dog. Sports Radio 66 WFAN. They're talking sports, going at it as hard as they can. It's Mike and the Mad Dog on the fan. Nothing can get by 'em. Turn it on and try 'em. Mike and the Mad Dog, WFAN.
Now I introduce you to the board. 21st day of June, 1994. Getting ready for a game 7 next to the Rockets tomorrow evening at Floyd over at the Summit. We're in Houston. Bob Joe scores the board. Good afternoon there, Michael. How are you? I'm fine, Doc. 32 hours and counting till we finally can play this game and find out who wins this thing and what. Mike and the Mad Dog taking you along the way as we head to 6. Game 7 tomorrow night. Stick with us on the fan.
Mike and the Mad Dog. Sports Radio 66 WFAN.
Okay, next.
Dixieland, pretty mama, come and take me by the hand. I want a hand, take me by the hand. Pretty mama, come dance with you, baby, all night long. I like to hear some funk at Dixieland. Pretty mama, come and take me by the hand. Imus in the morning.
Let me talk to you a little bit about that bottle K, baby. What must you yell at this hour? And that ginseng extra.
Yeah, might have been.
Nice bag.
I'm into the morning here on WRX 1037 in Providence with Scott Muni. Nice career move, New York to Providence.
Scott Zoe here with you, just back from the first annual Jackson Family Honors in Las Vegas. And let me tell you, when you see all of them up there on stage, you can't help but think, Jesus. And I thought my family was up. Well, these people make the Mansons look like the Brady Bunch. You could find some clan of devil-worshipping cannibals living in a trailer park somewhere, having sex with goats before they sacrifice them, put them next to the Jacksons, and all you'd think it'd be, ew, who is the weird dude with the glove? Dysfunctional? They coined the phrase. Well, first of all, I don't know why they make such a big deal out of Michael's weird appearance when the father looks like Eartha Kitt with a pair of pantyhose pulled over her head. All the money he sponged off the family over the years, he can't afford to buy real eyebrows. Well, this is one creepy-looking dude. No wonder the kids were so scared of him. You know, it was sad to see how even today, every time he went to scratch his head, one of them would flinch and go, Daddy, no, Jackie and Marlon didn't mean it. What I can't figure out is why they decided to go with an award show when they got their own sideshow. They got it all. Michael, the half-man, half-woman, LaToya, the snake charmer, Joe, the human leech, and, of course, the fat lady, Elizabeth Taylor. Jesus, Palomino, what the hell happened to her? You know, it's unusual. Something that size isn't hibernating at this time of year. Let me tell you, the audience wasn't booing. They were mooing. She comes out in this yellow pantsuit, and I'm thinking it's a school bus. You know, like Michael just ordered another load of little playmates from a local elementary school. But no, it's really Liz, the woman who won her Academy Award for Butterfield 8, looking like she just ate Tito and Jermaine. She waddles out to accept this trophy that looks like the table centerpiece from a Polish bowling dinner, some globe with 2 doves sticking out of it, and I just know she's going to put one of the birds in her mouth and start chewing on it. Who's afraid of Virginia Woolf? Everybody. She's on stage for 2 seconds, and 15 Japanese high rollers in the front row run to the fire exits, screaming something about Godzilla. Apparently, she's due for some medical procedure. Got to get a hip replaced.
Yeah.
And I assume the surgery will be done at a body shop. Because forget the hip, they're going to have to install some heavy-duty air shocks to handle this load. Well, Liz, it's not normal for a person to belch and bring up a cheesecake. Call Richard Simmons and get us sweating to the oldies tape. We'll post a flood warning.
Political consultant, Paul Begala, whose partner is James Carville. They handled the election campaign of Bill Clinton, and currently both serve as advisors to the president, I believe. And here he is now, Paul Begala. Good morning, Mr. Begala.
Good morning, Mr. Imus. I want to thank you already for guaranteeing the 96 re-election for Clinton.
Well, I'm pretty upset with you people, but I'm not going to get into that this morning because...
Well, you guaranteed it when you said you'd vote for Dole.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the Morning. What are we to make of Jimmy Carter's visit to North Korea, and how did that go over there at the White House?
It seems to me that if you need someone who has experience dealing with a doddering old fool hell-bent on war, well, Jimmy Carter ran against Ronald Reagan. He probably learned something.
Pretty good there, Paul.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
4 minutes till the hour here in New York. Give your dog invisible fencing that the freedom he deserves while you enjoy the peace. Hey, I'm Mr. Washington's senior political analyst, the late Richard M. Nixon.
Yes, thanks very much as always. I'm in the morning. Well, now, from my new, I guess you'd say, universal vantage point, let me say I see a myriad of matters we could focus on this morning. Time constraints, however, limit us to just a couple. So let me get right into it, if I may. Issue 1, and very troubling, this whole affair with O.J. Simpson, inmate number BK4013970. Now, do you know what his uniform number was?
Yes, 32.
Exactly. Follow me now. This is cosmic. You add up his prison number, BK4013970, you get 24. You add the K, the 11th letter of the alphabet, and you get 35. You subtract the B, the second letter of the alphabet, and you come up with 32.
No, you don't. You come up with 33.
Well, whatever. The principal thought I have concerning this episode now, after having looked at all its ramifications carefully, is this. If there's anybody who's lucky to be alive today, it's Al Cowlings. I mean, ye gods, man. We're never going to confuse Al Cowlings with Al Unser, are we?
No.
My God, Al, drop the hammer. It's Tinseltown. Give me a chase. Something like Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon 3, Some of that zigzag stuff at 140 miles an hour going the wrong way in a one-way. This guy was a pal? Jeez, I thought I was watching a film out of Driver's Ed, for crying out loud. If I had been O.J., I sure as heck wouldn't have shot myself, but I certainly would have strongly considered plugging him. Dono, when you think about the way it all ended up there, back at square one, at his home, in the driveway, and in a Bronco, I couldn't help thinking, wouldn't it have been a nice cap on the whole drama if he'd wound up his NFL career playing for Denver? Just a thought. Anyway, issue 2, I believe, North Korea. And in this regard, I'm able to bring my full foreign affairs savvy to the forefront here. My analysis, this was inevitable. Now, do I mean inevitable that North Korea would achieve a nuclear capability? No, I mean inevitable that one day we would see a blending of the foreign policy idiocy of the administrations of Bill Clinton and Jimmy Carter until one was indistinguishable from the other. Well, it wasn't bad enough that we had one buffoon in the case. We had to dip back into history for another. But as I said, inevitable. Both Southern governors, both with embarrassing brothers, domineering wives, daughters with empty dance cards, and both utterly consumed with detail producing, basically foreign policy catastrophes. So it was only a matter of time before the two would fuse together somehow like a pair of mating jellyfish. I mean, you look at the events of the past few days, and you tell me who's running the country, Clinton or Carter? Oh, that's an unfair question, because who could tell? It strikes me that somebody better figure it out fast before Kim Il-suk forces mapmakers to have to change the name of the South Korean capital from Seoul to Seoul. Well, that's it, J.D. I must close because I wouldn't want you to miss bed check or whatever.
Bed check?
I mean, I don't want to get you in trouble with your lady friend again. I heard you in a stuttering panic the other morning because you had failed to call in at the appointed time. Who are you dating anyway? Your probation officer or something? You had to wear one of those radio transmitters around your neck, like when Marlon Perkins is out banding cheetahs or something? Jeez, no wonder you like Clinton. You're a pant load. Oops, that's probably her.
calling in to take you off for behavior modification therapy. I'm out of here. And that's an unflinching look through Dick's scope today, Dano. All through a Dick's eye. That of Dick Nixon, a former and now deceased president of the United States. We're going to Washington, D.C. next week. Has Mark Guerin ever called us back? We need to talk to him about how the president wants to work this, whether he wants to come over to the station, or whether he wants us to come over and broadcast from, like, outside the Oval Office. So we just need to work out those details, okay? Keep him away from Disney. We don't want an incident. No, we don't want an incident, Royce. Hey, you make my knees knock. Well, you have some nice buttocks, young lady.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the Morning.
Hillary Rodham Clinton spent the evening on the Larry King Live program last night, fielding questions, including one about these latest sexual allegations. Larry asked her what the deal was with her hair. Yeah, well, maybe she'd get a hairstyle like Paula Jones so her husband will stay home with her. You're right,
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Wondering which wants a Frederick, America's best value.
Cool change, Frederick Air Conditioners. Cool change, Frederick Air Conditioners.
See your authorized Frederick dealer today. He's in the yellow pages.
Appeared, and quite frankly, today I got out of us press. Do players get scared? Hubert, to me, has looked scared. Anyway, that's a wrap on today. My thanks to Clyde Frazier, Pete Bessie, our own Eddie Coleman, of course, my Eddie Scazzeri across the way, along with Hot Rod Rodman, and you, the fans. Go Knicks!
Sports Radio 66, the fan, WFAN.
Doesn't have the power, and I just don't know if somewhere along the line he got it in his head that he's more Mr. Outside than Mr. Inside. And at 7 feet tall, he come under criticism for that. I've said it before, I'll say it again. You know, as Bill Walton said, a lot of guys in this league could shoot, but they got to rebound.
Sports Radio 66, the fan, WFAN.
I'm Vince DeLisi with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the flagship station for New York Mets baseball.
I'm Denver Mad Dog. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
They're talking sports, going at it as hard as they can. It's like a mad dog on the fan. Like nothing can get by 'em, turn it on and try 'em.
Mike is a Mad Dog, WFAN.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are you today? Mike and the Mad Dog on a fan. Nice Saturday, the 23rd day of June, 1994. Thursday, New York, 718-937-6666. That's your two-way sports talk. South of Eddie Scazzeri. Robert W. Gelb across the way as we talk to you about the world of sports, but obviously probably a one-topic day with the New York Knickerbockers, who lost a tough game last night, 90-84.
To go on a Knick Thursday as we put a lid on the Knicks season. Eddie C. coming up, talking about the feuding Mets. Franco, Saberhagen, what's going on there? Saberhagen saying it's as bad as it was last year. That's a hell of a comment to make.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Boy,
Things are real fun since we left the Mets.
Mike is a Mad Dog, Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Think about until we're out of here on a Thursday. Richard Neer coming up after 10 o'clock. We'll carry you right through until 12. Bill Duffy standing by with the update at 9. More phone calls coming up. You know the telephone number, all you have to do is use it.
Sports Radio 66, the fan, WFAN.
We'll be in the studios of EEI in Boston, and it sounds like a nightmare in the making. Yeah, it does. So I'm flying out of Newark at 1 o'clock, so somebody grease the runway.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the Morning on The Fan.
The White House last night, scene of an Aretha Franklin concert, God. And the president at one point had words of effusive praise for the so-called Queen of Soul.
Aretha, in one of the songs, you say, without love, there's only so much you can do. Well, tonight, you have all of you, given all of us some of your love. Put your big black lips around this baby.
Oh, no, you know.
Show me some of that love.
God almighty. You know, have you no shame?
In the morning on the Fan, Sports Radio 66,
WFAN 2020 Sports.
It's 9 o'clock. I'm Bill Daughtry, NBA player. Does he have that special something that will make him an NBA champion? We may never find out. He had his chance. Game 7. NBA Finals. You can't ask for much more than that. He had an opportunity to finally put an end to all the critics. He came up small. Do you blame him for it? Or you just throw it into the mix? That's your decision.
Imus in the Morning. Russ Salzberg in middays from 10 to 1. And Mike and the Mad Dog afternoons from 1 till 6. It's all on The Fan. Sports Radio 66. WFAN, New York.
If you were a Game 7 to even get consideration for being a great player, the fact that they lost, well, forget about it, at least in my mind. I mean, it's difficult to categorize him as a great player. He's very good. He is a star. Is he a superstar? A superstar. How do we define that? Thanks to Rob Tepper in my case. Stay tuned. Richard Neer coming up after the update.
Sports Radio 66, The Fan, WFAN.
And then I realized that I'm going to be on my honeymoon. The Rangers are going to win the Stanley Cup because I'm not going to be there to enjoy it. And I came home from my honeymoon 2 days ago, and I got to enjoy the greatest night of my life.
How long have you been married?
About 10 days
10
now.
days. You know what you want to say? Say the second greatest day of your life.
Mike and the Mad Dog from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Sports Radio 66, WFAN New York. WFAN 2020 Sports.
It's 10 o'clock. I'm Bill Daughtry. Central Park. And that's what's happening. I'm Bill Daughtry with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the radio home of Richard Neer, and the flagship station for New York Mets baseball.
Sports Radio 66, The Fan, WFAN, New York.
The radio home. I like that. You like that? That's very nice. As opposed to the residential home. It's all yours. This is where I live in the radio. Daughtry, resplendent in teal and navy today. Oh, very sexy. Thank you. Look at this. People want to talk, Richard. People want to talk. Well, I mean, you are just so color coordinated, so Caribbean looking, I think. A little Miami via Seattle look here. Well, good evening.
Honorable Edward M. Kennedy with a commercial message.
Thank you. I have purchased this time on the Imus Radio Network to alert my Bay State constituents to a matter of extreme gravity that has just recently been brought to my attention. In short, it is this. Imus is coming here. Ergo, Say, could somebody hit this? Shivers neat. Thank you very much. Once again, I am forced to ask, haven't we, Kennedys, suffered enough? I already can project the response that question would draw from Imus. No. All right. Well, I will answer, yes, we have. I am well aware that we exist in a democracy that guarantees freedom of speech, freedom of movement. And I'm equally aware of the undeserved cachet of glamour and prestige Imus has achieved inexplicably. I know my colleague Chris Dodd appears on his program from Connecticut. Given the amount of grief I've suffered at the hands of Imus over the years, I don't want the bastard here. If Dodd wants him, fine. Spare me. To that end, I'm asking for your support in an effort I'm undertaking today to suspend many of the democratic institutions I realize you cherish. In advance of Imus's visit to Boston, I'm asking Governor Weld to declare martial law. I'm an older man now, in ghastly physical condition. By my own conservative estimate, 150 pounds overweight. You from the rear, on the floor of the Senate, I resemble an oil drum with an inverted mop bucket sitting on top of it. Seated in my committee chair, I look like somebody stuck a turnip nose on Mr. Blobby. I am well aware of these facts.
Good.
Do they make me happy? They do not. I have a nephew to whom they finally had to assign a guide dog to get him through the New York bar exam. Another who digs chicks with Smurf heads and drags me along, for God's sake. I've got a stepford wife who Father Time is starting to do some serious work on. And everybody on the planet has a health care plan that makes mine sound like I got it out of the stack of chance cards on a Monopoly board. Now I need this Imus invading my turf. Why not just have OJ at the door in a snit carrying a Rambo knife and be done with it? I've struggled too long and too hard to reconstruct my image as a dignified, imposing vicar of values, to have this lowlife bitch-slapping me in my own house, humiliating me by dredging up memories of events long past and best forgotten. And so I ask you for your help. I ask you how many times you calculate that this demented individual is going to play that crude sound effect he has of an automobile skidding out of control before he's... Here we go. Cute.
Well, that's one more.
Let me just say this.
Yeah.
Cute.
Imus in the morning, 2020 Sports.
Please join me in welcoming our new head coach, DJ Carlson.
The Portland Trailblazers have their man. Good morning. This is Mike Braden with Sports.
Can you get any names right?
And as for the women, number 4, Martina Navratilova, won her second-round match. Martina's upset that Steffi Graf was eliminated.
He said things to me that I just don't think he has any need to say. It's okay, one thing you say you're gonna knock me out. You call me a chicken, okay, fine. But you call me a coward, call me a fag, say you're gonna break my neck again, put me back in the hospital. Then you got a problem with me.
That's the wrong cut, but it worked pretty well. Martina advances to the third round. That was actually Vinny Pazienza talking about Roberto Duran. That big match tomorrow night in Las Vegas.
This kind of thing before.
Imus in the morning news time, 5 minutes past the hour. The big news in Boston, what's been described, I believe, as a 9-alarm fire.
Yep.
About 4 blocks from where we are. Flashback.
Recently, the Imus in the Morning program began broadcasting in Massachusetts, giving Imus an entree to my home state constituents and an opportunity to dredge up, let me rephrase that, to remind them of an unfortunate incident in which I was involved there many years ago. Imus thought it amusing to play the recorded sounds of a car crash, followed by a gurgling noise whenever my name was mentioned. Sophomoric and callow, but limited, I believed, to his antics in Boston, providing me a haven from his insolence in Washington. Regrettably, circumstances have changed. And similar to a herpes recurrence, he is now broken out here in Washington, giving me no respite. Now, I don't intend to be his helpmate. Therefore, I resolve never to have my name uttered here or any other place for that matter if I can help it, denying him the trigger, so to speak, for that inane sound effect. I'll simply be known as a prominent Massachusetts legislator. No name, title, or any specific identification.
Telephone for Senator Kennedy.
Oh, no.
Senator Kennedy.
No. Look, just hand me a note, okay? So this moron can't do that anymore? Is that so hard? My voice is instantly recognizable. So actually, I need not say my name at all. And certainly under these intolerable Imus circumstances, with this bastard both in Boston and Washington now, I do not intend to do so. So, ask not my name.
Sir,
ask rather my...
I have a package for you.
Oh, really? Okay, fine.
Just initial for me and then sign your name right there.
Here?
That's right, sir. Under where your name is tied.
But this says Senator John Kerry.
That's right, sir. Just sign your name.
Yes, but I'm Senator Ted Kennedy. Oh, Ted?
Hello? Hello, Fred.
How you doing?
People thought I was mean to you, son.
Well, you were. I mean, hell, I work 18 hours a day. I mean, I was dead tired. I had to get away, and maybe I wasn't thinking clear.
You don't work 18 hours a day.
Yes, I do.
Oh, God. I mean, have you ever heard it?
No.
They got some bad news in the tennis world. They banned Martina from playing in Holland.
Why, friend?
She wouldn't take her finger out of the dike.
No, you know.
Imus, this ain't your mother's morning show.
I thought I was going to have fun. I went up there to Rio Doso to look at the wildlife. You know, that's what I went up there for. All I saw all week was just one beaver.
Get off of the phone. Jesus, John, you're an idiot.
It was a domestic beaver. Well, I sure got some good close-ups, though.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
One start saving today, but don't wait. Everybody wants a Frederick, America's best value.
Cool change, Frederick Air Conditioner. Cool change, Frederick Air Conditioners.
See your authorized Frederick dealer today. He's in the yellow pages.
The I-Man picks a fight. Good morning. This is Mike Greenwood Sports.
Pennsylvania, I hate you. You broke my teeth. You've arrested me time and time again. You've stepped on me, sneered at me, fined me, spent the night in your jails. Well, I got out of your sprawling suburbias, your crumbling city of brotherly love, your quaint Amish village. Pennsylvania, I spit on you. I ripped the wings off your state bird, the rough grouse. I wiped the off my hands with your state flag after I masturbate thinking of exotic sex in other states. I want to become president of this country only so I can systematically cut all funds to Pennsylvania so it shrivels up to a scab of a province to be sucked up by New York and Ohio.
Imus in the morning.
Westwood One Incorporated. No portion of this program may be reproduced without the express written consent of the copyright owners. All rights reserved. This concludes the entertainment and revenue-generating portion of your broadcast day. We now return you to the rest of your local programming schedule, an indecipherable embarrassment of broadcasting incompetence that compelled the station to subscribe to the Imus in the Morning program in the first place. The entertainment and revenue-generating portion of the broadcast day, the Imus in the Morning program, will resume Monday morning. Check your local listings for time and schedule. 2020 Sports on the Fan means you'll get all the scores in 20 Sports, the flagship station for New York Mets baseball.
Alrighty, good morning everybody. Russ Salzberg here on this 24th day of June, 1994. The number, as always, is 718-937-6666. Kind of a quiet day yesterday. Good day to kind of regroup after the very tough, let's put it like that. You can almost say heart-wrenching, but just tough. We are talking about the American system of economics, and I mean, hey, let's face it. If there were no unions, you're going to tell me that there wouldn't be abuses on the other end of the spectrum? Somebody's got to keep an eye. Thanks for your call. Our thanks to you, Tom Lucci, Dick Ravitch, Gene Orzer, Susan Wallman, Ed Scudery, Mike A. John Minko, and Bobby Gelb. Had a great one. See you this weekend on The Fan. This is John Minko with 24 Sports on WFAN, the flagship station for New York Mets baseball. Once. This is John Minko with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the flagship station for New York Mets baseball. Back with you on the Fan, Sports Radio 66 WFAN, and it is normal position, batting leadoff in the 9 o'clock hour.
the inimitable Eddie C. at Coleman. Eddie, how are you?
You'll have no speed, but I can bat lead off.
That's right.
Rick, America's best value. See your authorized Frederick dealer today. He's in the yellow pages.
A survey, and a lot of people coming from the Garden State will find it a lot more convenient to just stay in state, save the tolls and all that kind of stuff too. Well, we shall see. This issue is going to raise its ugly head again, I am sure. Thanks to Mr. Hayes, I'm Richard Neal. We'll catch you again next week, 6 o'clock Saturday morning. Hi, everybody. I'm Binko with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the flagship station for New York Mets baseball. 10:05 on the fan. Good morning, everybody. Ian Eagle sitting in for Christopher Russo, the Mad Dog, getting some R&R in sunny South Carolina this weekend. Summer in the city. 718-937-6666 as we turn the corner, so to speak, in the world of sports. Knicks and Rangers have been monopolizing our conversations here on the fan for the last couple of months. And baseball has taken WFAN, the flagship station of New York Mets baseball. 12:05 on the fan. Good afternoon, everybody. Ian Eagle taking you until 2:50 today. And then we've got Major League Baseball for you right here on the fan. The Colorado Rockies and the San Francisco Giants. Jim Hunter during the game. He'll join us a little bit later on for a baseball segment. But right now, it's that time of year. NBA finals are over, and now we focus our attention on the NBA draft. The New Jersey Nets selecting 14th. Knicks have 2 picks in the first round. Getting close to 10 o'clock on 6718. That is your area code. I'm Ed Coleman. Bagels in baseball, Sunday, June 26th. Here in New York. We're coming back. Keep it here.
As we conclude the commercial, just as we are to start with the 1 o'clock update. This is called professional radio. 12:59 and 5 seconds. It is a Sunday night / Monday morning on the fan, New York City. It is Summers and Hughes, and you, those of the nocturnal nature, you know from the number, and Imus in the morning at 5:30. You're right here on your fan, New York City. Stick around.
A year and a half ago, I got engaged.
Well, morning to you, and IUB 105, 5 seconds, Sunday, make it Sunday night / Monday morning on the fan, New York City. Steve Summers here, you there, Jeff Hughes on the other side, 718-937-6666 overnight. Under the covers, Whoosh Moves until Imus in the morning at 5:30, right here on your fan, New York City. Frank is calling from Brooklyn.
Simply vivid dialect that's desecrating American journalism. From the Dean of Broadcast Journalists, Walter Cronkite.
Lights, camera, action. The Odyssey of Orenthal Gene Simpson. OJ. Grab some popcorn, Mr. and Mrs. America. This show is just beginning. And how has it gone so far? A television ratings bonanza. So much so that the heads of the webs, ratings and all-cost programmers, must be hoping that an armed to the teeth Al Cowlings will next try to spring his old pal from the slammer behind the curtain of lead out of a smoking ocean. Roll the satellite trucks, boys. AC's just gone
under one arm as he reaches through the broken window of a BMW with the other to crowbar the radio out while clutching a chicken leg in his mouth. Had the suspect been oriented, with the editor's time of airbrushed-in buck teeth, little round glasses, and a boom-air shoes, what is Time's agenda anyway? All questions we hope the News Weekly will see fit to address in a future issue. In sum, regarding this unfortunate case, as things stand now, the weight of the evidence against him would seem particularly damning to Orenthal James Simpson, to the point that the next time he appears in some project entitled Roots, it will refer to nothing more than the fact that his hair's gone gray. From Radio Watch, this is Walter Cronkite. Thank you and good night.
Hi, I'm Imus in the morning, and mortality. When Jackie Onassis died, I was surprised how sad I felt about it.
The idea that we think we've done our duty by grieving, and that the revisionism of the Times, that she should have been more of a career woman. The Times, of course, you know, I had read about Nixon in the Times, and before I read the Times, I didn't know he was such a great guy. I would have had a better time.
Imus, this is your mother's morning show.
Yeah, I voted for Kennedy, but I mean, why this sadness?
I guess probably because they did what leaders used to do. The two of them inspired you, and they showed you what is possible. As Stevenson said about Kennedy, he was like Demosthenes. When he spoke, people wanted to march. John Hart, the news guy, said to me, Clinton doesn't arouse passion in anyone, including Paula Jones.
You know, I didn't vote for Kennedy.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
I was an old
Sports.
Here's the 3-1.
I've never really done this kind of thing before.
I know that.
Wow, I'm in Boston. Now what's happening?
Well,
Can't wait till you take the magic to Sioux City. It's amazing how just a simple change of location can infuse new energy into your program. Let me tell you, that was some show, bro. Now at least I know you can be just as boring in other cities you are in New York.
I told Charles, I said, I told Charles I would do something. I would perform a sex act on him if any portion of this phone call were funny. So far, I'm safe.
Bet that guy Jim Baker's quaking in his boots, huh?
Well,
Writes a nasty piece in the paper and Skeletor challenges him to a fist fight. Ooh, let's get ready to rumble. Imus is going to beat up a columnist. Who else you going to do a fight with? A homeless lady in a common?
well, it's just, I mean, what did I tell you? I told you, it was just like his program.
Let him continue.
All right, go ahead. Maybe there's some more.
I can't believe the way the media in Boston went berserk over you. I guess I expected a modern-day version of the Tea Party. Thousands of disgruntled beantowners chucking their radios into the water. You know, when I first heard about all those people fleeing Haiti, I actually thought it was because you just got syndicated there.
Yeah.
Peter.
What did I tell you? Well, okay. I told you it was a mistake. I love Howard. Howard, stern rules.
Good, Mama. I've tried so hard.
Well, I'm all right. It was very nice having dinner with you last night. Yeah, only because I picked up the tab, you cheat. Well, first of all, I owe you something that's been like 4 inches long when the bill hit the table. I thought they were a snake on the tablecloth. First of all, I was the one who called for the bill, you fat phony, and some called for the bill because you were falling asleep with your nose in the croutons and the salad at 9:15. And the waiter came over and said, it's very nice of you to take Abe Lincoln's foster child out to dinner.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
So if you can get a copy of the Boston Herald this morning, there's a great picture of me on there's a wonderful picture. There's no such thing. No, it doesn't exist. No, well, you like the picture of me. It looks like, yes, are you in the coffin? Sincere laugh.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Are you looking for
In the morning, flashback.
All right, here now. I'm Mr. Washington, Senior Military Affairs Advisor, the late General George S. Patton.
At ease. I've called you here today to discuss with you people a disturbing trend.
despite our most dedicated endeavors to erode public support for this individual and to generate unfounded skepticism in his ability to lead, President Clinton continues to recover favor with Mr. and Mrs. America, in no small part as a result of his gracious response to the passing of Richard Nixon. People, we've got to reverse this trend. We had him on the ropes. It's our job to get him back there. Because, you know, with this case-heated control, our very jobs are at stake, along with the future of our entire military-industrial complex. Now then, joining me this morning to help map out a strategy for floating new innuendo, rumor, wild speculation, half-truths, and misrepresentations is an internationally respected expert in that field. A man with a tremendous stake himself in the well-being of our military-industrial alliance. Let's have a warm U.S. Army welcome for H. Ross Perot.
Thank you, Jim. At ease. Well, first let me say I'm prouder than a recycled condom on a San Diego Padre to be here with you today.
Yeah.
I'm as interested in getting rid of the current occupant of the White House as y'all are.
Yeah.
Now, what's it going to take? A structure. Based on some of the following Ross Perot business principles. Exaggeration of events, duplicity, disinformation projects, perjury, fabrication, forgery, perfidy, and outright bunk. In other words, united we stand.
Yeah.
How do you fire this bad boy up? Did I hear money? Correct. Maybe 3-4 million.
Yeah.
Chicken feed, boys. I'm richer than Jehovah and make that much in interest off of cattle futures in the next 15 minutes. You give me the high sign, and I'll go through that firewall those boys built over there at the White House faster than an ATF agent giving a hot foot to David Corey. It's just that simple.
Thank you, Mr. Perot. Now there is a true American. Finally, with me on the dais this morning, someone you might not expect to find here. But I'll let him explain his presence with us today. The senior senator from the state of Massachusetts, the distinguished Edward M. Kennedy.
Yes, General, thank you. You're looking surprisingly well for having been dead all these years. Now then, despite public statements I've made to the contrary, I never have liked Bill Clinton. Ask yourself, how could I? I'm a highly cultured, socially exclusive aristocrat, member of one of the oldest New England families. Mr. Clinton is from a region of our nation where people pick at their toes, sleep in trees, produce offspring that look like they live too close to high voltage lines, and then later marry them. I have nothing in common with him other than a four-chambered heart. And so, let the word go forth from this time and place that I am only too happy to join in an effort to dump this cracker before his intrusion into national politics completely eviscerates whatever remains of our cherished Democratic Party. Thank you. Could I get a shivers over here? Is that asking too much?
There you have it, people. An offer of direct intervention from two men who know more than just a thing or two about under-the-table dealing, rural chicanery, and barnyard ethics. Ross Perot and Ted Kennedy. Joining us for next week's Dump Bill Seminar, mark your calendars, Hillary Clinton, Webb Hubble, and Jeff Gillooly. That is all.
The room shakes you up and then lets you go.
Champions in the house. Champions in a big house. Here with MC Tiny.
What is this?
From the 411 on the chief executive. Well, if you ask me, you seem to get into trouble with all the whole bitches in your life make your ass big double. Take it from me, since Adam and Eve in the beginning, the problem ain't with the man, it's with them crazy women. Love them, deceive them, and then up and leave them. Then they talk through the media, and the media believe them. Leave it, you want to...
Wasn't that pimp slap the whole load? Yes, it was. What was the point of that? Didn't I just read this outraged letter from this woman from Ida? Morgan Stern? Check. Ida Morgan Stern.
He's been on Rhoda.
You would think if you're going to write a letter, you would at least check the spelling. I love him dearly. But he's screwing the eye, man. Fred, this is for you there in El Paso.
York Mets baseball.
Good morning, everyone. It is 10:05 on the Fan, WFAN. I'm Ed Coleman in for Russ Salzberg today, right up until 1 o'clock this afternoon. And, of course, the phone number 937-6666, 718, your area code. Good to see Imus again. God, he looks great, doesn't he? Good to see Eddie Scazzeri as well, looking terrific, and Bill Rodman, too. Yeah, you look terrific as well. Yeah, you certainly do, as a matter of fact. Okay, that's going to do it for me today. I'm Ed Coleman, and sitting in for Russ Salzberg. He's back with his golf game tomorrow from 10 until 1 o'clock. Now, coming up, Bill Daughtry, Ian Eagle. They'll take you right up until 6 in for Mike and the Mad Dog. Thanks to Billy Rodman, thanks to Ed Scazzeri, and all our guests here today. And you, the callers, as well. Been a lot of fun. I will catch you down the road very shortly. Mink up next. Have a good one, folks. This is John Minko with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the flagship station for New York Mets baseball. 1:04 on the Fan. Good afternoon, everybody. Ian Eagle, Bill Daughtry taking you until 6 o'clock this evening. Sitting in for Mike and the Mad Dog. Some rest and relaxation for those fellas. Russo will be flying this ship solo beginning tomorrow, as Francesa has the rest of the week off, but we're filling in today, and a number of topics on the table, including the NBA.
And Rush Limbaugh, good morning, Rush.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. North America, and all the liberal ships lost at sea. It is I, the Commodore of Conservatism, Rush Limbaugh, imploring the skipper of our sinking country to abandon ship. Of course, maritime law demands women and children first. But I'm afraid, Captain Clinton, that by the time the long parade of bimbos hidden in your quarters hits the lifeboats, the children will drown. I'm sorry, I admit that I'm feeding right into the president's allegations that there is far too much negativism among conservatives in the media. I agree. And to quote our chief executive, the American people are entitled to know what's going on good in this country. I also feel that the American people are entitled to know that of all the many things our president learned in his tenure at Oxford, the Queen's English wasn't one of them. Thank God that Bubba is only trying to push through a health care plan and not an education package. However, he does have a point. Unless the cause of conservatism become a synonym with negativism, let us take a rush hour trip around the world in search of what's going on good. Why, Mr. President, there is plenty. Let us first go goodly to the USS Eisenhower, where Secretary of the Defense William the Regurgitator Perry stated that women on active duty in the Navy would now be placed upon combat ships with the exception of submarines. Too much potential for sexual harassment, I suppose, seeing as submarines are long, hard, and full of seamen. There's quite a bit of good going on in New York, where thousands marched in the parades commemorating the 25th anniversary of the Stonewall Uprising. A parade that did not need floats, as its participants were doing enough floating on their own. There were between 10,000 and 1 million in the streets, not counting gerbils. And if you witnessed any of the spectacle, the bearded mutants in evening gowns and heels, you'd feel so good knowing that under the Clinton administration, they would be allowed in the aforementioned submarines. Ooh, that brings me to the term going down, doesn't it? Stop. And there was plenty good going on at the Jackson County Fairgrounds in Michigan. I was there at the event I like to call the Rockin' Rifle concert, where the whackmaster himself, Ted Nugent, Mr. Wang Tang Poontang, tried to elevate the image of the American hunter. We are not all overweight, tobacco-chewing, half-assed, inconsiderate killers of Bambi's nephew, he said. And I submit that, yes, some of us would prefer taking out Bambi's niece instead. And if I may, I would like to quote the old Limbaugh family creed. If it frolics through the woods or flies in the sky, draw a bead on it and shoot out its eye. Of course, in the Clintonian vernacular, that would be shoot its eye out good. Liberals are just like commies, you can't tell them apart. Think they're so progressive when they're all just big bleeding hearts. quite all right to be on welfare from cradle to grave. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be liberals. Don't let them start programs for social reform. Be narrow-minded to those who don't conform. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be liberals. Cause economy crunches with all their free lunches. They're giving the country away. Liberals like government handouts and hidden agendas. Like dropping trowel in hotel rooms with girls of the night. They all feel guilty because they are so privileged and want to give it all up to the hopelessly needy. So if you don't want your young kids being left out, see that they stay to the right. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be liberals. They love homos and Negroes and Hebrews and such. They love from the rich, think that we have too much. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be liberals. Cause economy crunches with all their free lunches. They're giving the country away. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be liberals. Don't let them start programs for social reform. Be narrow-minded to those who don't conform. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be liberals. Cause Mama and Hillary are both prime examples, and they're giving our country away.
Rush Limbaugh here in the Imus of the Morning program.
Sorry if I seem a little hyper, but I have this head cold, and I just did a couple of bottles of nasal spray. Cleared my sinus is pretty good, but I sure am idling a little fast. Boy, let me tell you what, it's pretty crazy right here today. Brother's handing out pink slips like he is a hall monitor from hell. What is it with him? Well, he changes staff members more often than Menudo. It's heartbreaking, man. I seen Mac McClarty about 20 minutes ago over in one of the mini Eisenhower meeting rooms. He's lying there in the dark in a fetal position going, why? I mean, these guys go all the way back together to kindergarten, man.
I know that.
He gonna flush a chain on a childhood friend like that? Nobody's safe. I could end up being replaced as first brother by Thomas Smothers. Hey, what's the deal with this O.J. hair sample?
Well, I don't know.
They trying to pin that Anita Hill cocaine thing on him now, too?
No, God, you idiot!
Hadn't the man suffered enough? I mean, oh, hey, guess what?
What?
I just got a gig, man. A cruise ship.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to be the entertainment on some kind of love boat deal, I think. It leaves Haiti tomorrow and gets into Florida. I don't know. I don't have that part of the itinerary yet.
Roger Clinton here on the Imus of the Morning program. Mike Breen continues. Baltimore Orioles have won 4 in a row.
Okay, I have a quiz. If you absolutely had to do one of two things because, like, your life depended on it, what would you rather do? Have your naked body smeared with dog poop or get stuck in an elevator for 3 days with Roseanne Arnold?
That's easy. Dog poop.
Okay, how about this? Get that nicotizing fasciitis flesh-eating disease or sit in the front row at the Barbra Streisand concert?
Flesh-eating disease.
Okay. Stick shards of broken glass in your eyes or watch a whole World Cup soccer game on television?
Stick 'em in. Stick 'em in.
Okay, here's a tough one. Go to a weenie roast with Lorena Bobbitt or kiss D.D. Myers on the mouth with tongue?
I think I'm gonna be sick.
I think I'd cut off my own wiener and put it on a stick before I'd kiss her.
Okay, I got one. Would you rather drink a big glass of Carney Wilson's sweat or do the nasty with Heather Locklear?
You You're not supposed to make them easy. It's supposed to be like the lesser of two evils.
Oh, okay. Slide down a razor blade banister into a tub of alcohol. Or listen to Imus.
Who's Imus have on as a guest?
Molly Ivan.
How long a banister is it?
Hey, Mama said the way you move gonna make you sweat, gonna make you groove. Imus in the morning.
Flashback.
Andy Rennie this week is rewriting the Clinton White House lineup sheet again. Andy?
I don't know about you, but I wish I'd invested in eraser company stock. As many times as I've had to change with this thing. It's a difficult time for essayists. There's a 50-50 shot that whatever we write this morning will be relegated to the scrap heap of history by tonight, as people catapult out of the White House like some human cannonball act gone mad. Let me understand this. Hillary couldn't handle the equivalent of a house closing on some two-bit Arkansas river bottom land deal, and she's reconfiguring this nation's health care apparatus? Ye gods. Move over, Vince. I need to lie down, too.
That'll be enough.
I like Hillary and her husband, and this may seem harsh, but looking at everything that's happened around old 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, are you beginning to wonder whether the Peter principle might have some application here? Perhaps where Mr. Clinton is concerned, there might be a better way to approach the question of competence other than Peter principle.
I think so.
Anyway, look for just a moment at some of the FOBs and FOHs who are now DOAs because of those SOBs. Friends of Bill and Hillary, who probably would just as soon they've never heard of them. Wow, they go pretty far back. This is Zoe Baird. Remember her? Attorney General designate about 100 million years ago, it seems. And the first to bring us Maidgate. And here's Kimba Wood. Hi, Your Honor. Maidgate the sequel, remember? And here's the little gal who finally won the competition, Attorney General Janet Reno. I see it wasn't a beauty pageant. That's gratuitous, and I'm sorry. Let's just say that when she gets blown out of there, and she will, that there'll be no shortage of alligators for her to wrestle. I feel sorry for her. The way people are disappearing around the Justice Department, she must think she's in a Twilight Zone episode. When Webb Hubbell was put to the torch the other day, Ms. Reno, bless her heart, made one of those rambling statements, as they say. But then she didn't exactly come to Washington stamped Intel inside in the first place, did she? Yes. Well, let's proceed. Here's Lonnie Guinier, remember? Nominated to and dynamited from the Justice Department's Civil Rights Division because folks kept getting her writings and Khalid Abdul Muhammad's confused. Let's see. Oh, my. Here's White House Deputy Counsel Vincent Foster. Well, no comment. From me or him, as I think about it. Hey, darn near missed one. Bobby Ray, Gene Clyde, Texas Tower Inlet. Oh, would you even blink if they found this one-time Pentagon poobah atop a tower picking off passers-by with a Weatherby 308? No. I wouldn't. Here's Bernie Nussbaum, who's added to his resume, was White House counsel, served as liaison between Oval Office and Resolution Trust Corporation, brought Zoe and Kimba to prominence. Now we'll work for whiplash claims. And here's the latest to that White House bungee jump thing. Webb, I got trouble, Hubble. Third from the top at Justice. It's clear why he's going back to Arkansas to eat. He said he had to resign because of distractions from back in Little Rock. What, Webb? Visions of boom pies kept dancing in your head? Well, sure, times are tough right now around Bill and Hill. But not to worry, dear reader, until the day Paul Begala steps to the podium in the briefing room and announces, through the offices of Trade Representative Mickey Cantor, of course, that because of irreconcilable differences, the President and Mrs. Clinton have just, with great heaviness of heart, accepted the resignation of Chelsea.
That was a flashback. Coincidentally, 13 till the hour here in New York City. Maybe we'll talk to Fred in a minute and see what's on his mind. Everybody wants a Frederick, America's best value.
Call change, Frederick Air Conditioners. Call change, Frederick Air Conditioners.
See your authorized Frederick dealer today. He's in the yellow pages.
The following is another in a series of famed political resurrections by billionaire industrialist H. Ross Perot. You know me. America knows me. I'm a straight shooter. Let's cut right to the chase, is what I like to say. Now then, I'm not here for a minute trying to trivialize this O.J. Simpson tragedy on it, but just let me say, in light of all that's happened, all that's come out these past couple of weeks, that I know who did it. I know
know what happened, and I know why. I got under the hood, hooked a voltmeter up to every plug, run a compression check, and I'm able to say to you now, without any equivocation, that I know who killed O.J. Simpson.
No.
There you go. That's it. Period. I know you're startled. I can read the bewilderment in your face.
No, it wasn't O.J. Simpson. It was his former wife.
Are you saying I don't have my facts straight?
Yeah.
Let me be the first to say I could have missed something.
Yeah.
I'm a small fella, but I'm big enough to say when I'm wrong. But let's not dawdle over some minor inconsistency. That's one thing wrong in this country. Too much dilly-dallying over details. Ruined the Carter administration, about to ruin Clinton's. Look at this T-shirt I'm marketing. You think Fred might be interested in stocking some of these things?
No.
It says, keep Carter clear of Korea. See? That's Carter grabbing his ankle, and that fella behind him is Kim Il-sung. And that there red slash across him, that's a 38th parallel. Pretty clever, isn't it? What we're seeing here, Imus, is just more of the policy of appeasement that has us back into a butt wrinkle everywhere around the globe. And what's Carter going to do now? Did you see this? He's writing a book of poems. I'm telling you, he's gone crazier than a June bug suffocating in a gay pride marching band's underwear, Imus. Here's one thing you can start with. Dear Jimmy, this may be poor onomatopoeia, but do us a favor and stay in Korea. Imus, can I step into this healthcare debate for just a minute?
No.
Now, forget all the pros and cons you've been hearing. The problem is simple. Just keep in mind that it's a small dog that never got fat eating out of a quarter-gold bowl. You see, Imus, unless you're a lesbian, there ain't no such thing as a free month. It's just that simple. So this is political arrogance and the worst kind of deceit.
Yeah.
The answer's on every doctor's door. Payment expected at time services rendered. Now, how's that fuzzy? He pulls your shorts down, dips that finger in the petroleum jelly, puts you on the moon, and you write him a check. Period. Why, heck, there was a bunch of boys in New York the other day who would have paid him. And finally, Imus, World Cup soccer. I have a few questions. Who are these people? And why are they in my country? Where's the attraction, Imus? Where's the bleachers collapse? When do they sick the Rottweilers on everybody in Section 246? In other words, when does something happen? Maybe I just don't get it. But so far, the World Cup as entertainment falls somewhere between euthanizing a cat and getting Mr. Happy snagged 5 folds deep in your zipper. And that's a yellow card if I ever heard one. Hey, how's this sound for my 96 campaign, Imus? When all seems lost, it's at all costs Ross. You like it?
No.
Well, much obliged for having me on your show.
That's what I'm kind of wondering. You have Major League Baseball players. How do you lose your focus? What happens out there, Brain? They get distracted. You're like Joel walking in here and saying, you know, you kind of lost your focus, and it'd be nice if you would start paying attention to the program, Ken. Yes. Do you ever have to come back and give us a big pep talk about you guys should, you know, you've lost your focus, you should work harder, you're not paying attention to what's going on? Never, but I think it was a little uncalled for that Dale Arnold's funnier than Brain. Nice picture, by the way. Me? Deidre looks gorgeous. You look like a mannequin in Alexander's.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
When it came time to step up, what did Patrick Ewing do? Fell down. Smoked a joint. Sure. Couldn't get it done, could he? No. Oh, 7 points short. What does this say? The little juice or something?